Britney Spears will not ask for her conservatorship to end when she speaks in court next month, but will explain why she wants Dad removed. Is that? Oh, ooh, you're telling me that's 40 plus? Is this? Wait. Oh, okay. Wait, hold up. Is this really what we're going with? The bikini photo? Yeah, I saw it. 40. Yeah, not bad for 40 plus. Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't think we were going with this story. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I don't know how I ended up on there. Okay, let's get to our real story. A little personal. Bikini. Outrageous. Texas Democrat Party refuses the resignation of chairman who called Republican Tim Scott an Oreo. Gary O'Connor heads the Democratic Party in Lamar County, northeast of Dallas. He said he was deeply sorry for using the racist term to describe Scott. O'Connor announced plans to step down, but his colleagues refused. There's got to be more to this. This can't be as simple as a Democrat being a racist and his colleagues being fine with it. There's got to be more to this story, right? That being said, I haven't had Oreos in a long time. Scrolling through this, I heard the term Oreo, and I thought it was funny because it seems to apply to Mr. O'Connor more so than Tim Scott. America is not a racist country, Scott said in his remarks last Wednesday, which I talked about in a video I did last week. It seems clear he is little more than an Oreo. O'Connor wrote of Scott. He actually, the nerve to write these things out loud because they know, by and large, that they can get away with it. Oreo is a racial slur. Okay, yeah. Republicans were outraged and demanded O'Connor resign from his post. According to the Democrats there locally, after much discussion, especially among our local, I don't know why they have the B like that in black Democrats, we chose not to accept Mr. O'Connor's resignation. Mr. O'Connor has written a public letter of apology to Tim Scott, and Lamar County Democrats join him in this apology, the statement added. The party said O'Connor has been with the organization for 7 years, and his life of service, collaboration, and activism for racial justice is well known throughout this community. Remember Ralph Northam? Still governor in Virginia. His recent remark is incompatible with his core values. They insisted, "You are what you are." That's why I always say you give people the rope, they'll hang themselves with it. You let a person like this keep talking, they'll show you who they really are. When they think, and when they're emboldened and think they can get away with things, you want to see an example of me taking a little rope and trying to hang myself with it maybe? A lot of talk about Oreos. It looks like somebody here has had way too many packages of double stuffed. Look at this guy. What will we call him? A triple stuffed?
Got him!
The nerve of somebody to even go at somebody else when he's looking like that. Haven't had Oreos in a long time myself. I gotta lay off those things. I used to grub on those double stuff back in college, but back then the metabolism was a lot better than it is now. O'Connor wrote on a Facebook post in response to Scott's rebuttal to President Joe Biden's first address to a joint session of Congress last Wednesday. And you remember this. I did the video about it, as I said. Here you go. I had hoped that Scott might show some common sense, but it seems clear that he is little more than an Oreo with no real principles, because how dare someone? You know, people like to make it about the shade of the skin. I try to stay away from that as much as possible, but how dare a black person? According to Gary O'Connor, it's probably what he's thinking. How dare a black American not be on that Democratic plantation? How dare he not be of the same mindset, Gary O'Connor? Mr. Oh, I'm out here for racial justice. He's got a history of collaborative works of social justice. And this is why some things I talk about where we have this segment of the population that will think this is okay. But he'd be the same guy that would probably call me every racist, ism, phobic, supremacist name in the book because I don't agree with him politically. He feels comfortable saying things like this to Tim Scott. He'd say the same things about me, but it's kind of what I talk about. I've heard it so many times in media and society. Oh, the horrible white man, the horrible patriarchy. It doesn't mean shit to me. It doesn't bother me in any way. That doesn't mean I don't fight against it on behalf of others. But it doesn't bother me because I know the stuff isn't true. When people are out there running their mouths about some nonsense, it's just all talk to me. I know it's garbage. I know it's nonsense. And I know it's all politically motivated. I know what they're trying to do. It's all about money. It's all about power. But the reality is Gary O'Connor's a fat scumbag. Now, for me, I get it all the time, and I'm not trying to say I'm this holier than thou out there for everyone person, but I feel like it's so prevalent in the media that it doesn't surprise me when I hear white man bad. But to hear things directed at other communities who aren't on the plantation, who don't side with Democrats, they've got slang terms for every group. And it's always, oh, they're acting white. Again, racist term in and of itself. Assume that other ethnicities of individuals or other types, whatever category you want to put people in, everyone's an American to me. But they like to group blacks. They got their slang terms for them. Oreos, Uncle Tim's, Uncle Tom's, Latinos, Asians. Oh, you're acting white. You're acting... And it'll come from a white person. It'll be a white person by and large telling you these things. It's so amazing that how do you get, and I've posed this question before, how do you become so far gone to where you think that you're out there doing it for the cause? And then you see successful people, black, Asian, Latino, whomever, anyone, whites, and you feel like you're not out of pocket by saying these kind of things. How do you go home and justify that to yourself? Yeah, my name's Gary O'Connor. I'm just going to go polish off 3 packs of double stuffed Oreos, and I'm out here fighting for blacks, man. I'm so proud of blacks. Well, what did Tim Scott say? Man, he's no better than those Oreos I be eating. I don't understand how people justify these things to themselves. I don't even see these people as human. People like Gary O'Connor. To me, they're just robotic in a way. I can't understand how you could pretend to be out here for, let's just say it's blacks. Oh, I'm out here for blacks, but only the right kind of blacks. I don't understand how you make that add up in your mind to 1 + 1 = 2. It makes no sense to me. I'll never understand people like him. That's pretty much the story there. They just went through and went on to recap a lot of what happened last week. A lot of tweets from individuals calling Tim what they called him. Twitter's response, doing nothing, letting Uncle Tim trend for 12 hours. Tim's response to that, and a lot of responses from individuals on the right. Here's the comments. They refused his resignation because his seat could go to a Republican. This is what I've talked about over and over again, and what I talked about in the video I put up even a couple days ago about the police in Colorado, in Loveland, Colorado, where they abused that grandmother. You have to police your own. You have to be willing to call out individuals when they bullshit. If you don't call them out when they bullshit, then that's when you get these whiny little babies out here in the streets, smashing stuff and breaking stuff because it's for the greater good. We're on the good team. Same thing with these politicians in office who refuse to call it out. They refuse to call out certain things. They refuse to call out individuals within their party until it gets to the point where they have to. And the way the media runs interference for the Democrats, you know that it has to be a pretty spiteful thing they do for the media to call them out. The question I'd have for double stuffed Oreo is, how can you honestly look a black individual in the face now? Or anyone? How could you look at yourself in the mirror? And for any black Democrat in Texas or anywhere, how could you ever side with this guy again, knowing what he thinks of you? To me, if you're somebody now, a black individual, black Democrat, a black anybody, I guess, that would side with this guy, after knowing what he thinks of you, knowing that he called you an Oreo, and what other things must run through his mind, if you feel so emboldened to where you can say these things about people, imagine what he really thinks of black people. The things he says in his own mind. The things he says when nobody's around. It would seem to me that if an individual, black we're talking about here, were willing to cozy up to this guy now, not call him out, look this guy in the face, think of him as a friend, I wonder if there's a term for somebody like that. who would just bend over and let this white man say these horrible things about him. I wonder what Mr. O'Connor would say about those individuals who would let him insult them to their face because of their skin tone or the way they think. I wonder if there's a term that Mr. O'Connor would have for those kind of individuals. We'll leave the video off right there. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Be well, and push away from the double-stuffed Oreos. You don't want to look like Mr. O'Connor. Double stuff, going on triple stuff. Take care, everyone. Be well.
Got him! Oh! Whoa! Whoa!